Welcome to Thrusting the Tortoise. I'm always inspired by different things, and I can remember learning Tai Chi with Caroline Ross and Master Mark Rauther, and there are always these amazing names attached to different postures. I can't pull to mind any of them at the moment, but they are crazily good. And so this is a kind of subtle inspiration that I was thinking, how do I describe this movement? I said, well, thrusting, and the back is solid like a tortoise shell. So this is now called Thrusting the Tortoise. Unnecessary backstory, but I hope it raised a smile. That's important because this process needs to have a bit of joviality to it, because it's pretty hard maintaining all of that tension whilst moving. If you just grit your teeth, not literally hopefully, but if you really work hard and you try and get the movement, it means there's no space internally, and that's really important because that's what we are driving towards. We're endeavoring to encourage energy into the bowl and then directing that energy inside the bowl up the inside of our spine. In order to do that, there needs to be some space, and a simple way of gaining space in your nervous system is by smiling, or at least finding something a little bit jovial. Hence, thrusting the tortoise. What are we doing? Well, thrust was explained in the last video, and here we are folding forwards. We're kind of bending the tortoise into the thrust. Sounds pretty simple, but the only thing that really moves is the bowl. The leg balls kind of stay where they are, and the bowl moves around the leg balls. Everything else stays the same. It's quite tricky to do because of the stiffness in your hips. We all have stiffness in our hips. Just try sitting for a long period of time, or just try walking or squatting all the way down. Most people have stiffness in the hips. I think we can agree that. So in order to avoid feeling that stiffness, we start to move our spines, or we move our shoulders, or we move our knees, or we move our ankles or our feet, so we don't have to address the stiff parts in the bowl. Now, ideally, you've set up the thrust, everything in your body's solid, firm, tight, plump, full. Attach a word to that gesture. So that when you lead from the arms, so the hands kind of come forwards and then they reach, there's this feeling of reaching in the thumb, which extends all the way through to the shoulder joint, which pulls on the shoulder girdle, which then pulls on the spine, and it's that pull that drags us forwards. But the spine remains in its tortoise shape. So the only thing that is really moving is the bowl over the leg balls. Let's take a look. So we've got the thrust which we've set up. The first thing we do is we reach through the fingers, and instead of it pulling us over and falling backwards, the fabric extends like that extruded valve I just did until the arms come forwards. Now this feels quite nice with the palms out, but there's something magical that happens when the palms come and rotate in. Something deeper happens in the spine, but we're still kind of in an equilibrium. But then when the thumbs come forwards, that's the thing that tips us to either fall over or come forwards. I used in the essay the analogy of a pin, a cord, and a pen. And if we stretch the pen, we either fall over, or if the pin remains attached firmly in the floor, as we reach through the fingers pull down and then come forwards. We find our body goes backwards in order to counterbalance the arms coming forwards. That's good, that allows us to round more, but it's this unraveling of the shoulders that really increases the 5 points we've covered. Then the reaching of the wrists tips us over, and if we stay inside our bowl, the bowl moves. The legs don't really bend, and we end up here, thrusting into the tortoise. Now this is quite an intense movement. When you get it right, you can really feel that you've gripped one end of your nervous system, your spinal cord, along with gripping the other end of your spinal cord, so your bowl and your head. And when those two are pulled away from each other, especially if you're stiff and not used to this, there might be an electrical discomfort in your nervous system as it begins to stretch and become a little bit more elastic. I'll leave it there for now because I don't want to give too much information, but that's the shape of it. All the information is there. Just a quick recap. The arms go back because the hips go forwards. If you keep pulling the arms backwards, you'll fall over. So when you reach through the fingers, you describe an arc with the arms. Then you unravel the arms, which deepens the stretch in your spine. You're still in thrust. And then you reach through, and through reaching through the thumbs, something happens in the spine. You just need to listen to that feeling, feel that feeling, and allow that feeling to move you into the forward bend. But don't stop thrusting. Don't stop the feeling of reaching with the arms, because that will hold your spine in this delicious tension, which allows you to shake off or discover, at minimum, some unnecessary tensions. That's enough for now, I think. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it entertaining. If you did, do like the video, because that's quite nice when I get a like. Not that I need a dopamine hit, but it means that someone's actually watched it. And even though I love putting this work out because it's no longer just in my head, it's really nice when someone smiles back. All the best. Till the next one.